Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Isabella and I'm a philosophy student at UCL. If you're not new here, then those things are still true. So as you can probably tell from the title of today's video, I'm going to be talking about if philosophy is right for you to study at university. Obviously, these are all just based on my own experience and they're very UK university specific, so make sure to take everything I say in today's video with a grain of salt. But I know that a lot of schools don't offer philosophy at A-levels or IB or whatever curriculum you're following, so I thought that this video might be useful. I was lucky enough to do philosophy during the IB, but I know that not everyone has this opportunity, so hopefully you find this video somewhat helpful. As usual, I will have things timestamped below, so if you're only interested in knowing about certain things, then you can see those down below. And with that, let's move on to the rest of the video. So I'll be starting with reasons you shouldn't take philosophy. So if you're thinking of taking philosophy for these reasons, then I would recommend not doing so. The first would be don't take philosophy, at least in the UK, if you're only interested in non-analytic philosophy. So as I've mentioned in previous videos, UK universities are very analytic philosophy focused. You can take modules in other areas, but that tends to be the vast majority of the courses. So if you're only interested in, for example, Eastern philosophy or continental philosophy, then I would recommend just learning that on your own time rather than taking it at university, because you're not going to get the opportunity to study exclusively those things. So for example, I think at UCL, as far as I'm aware, the only Eastern philosophy course that's offered is one course on the self in classical Indian philosophy, and I'm pretty sure that's it. So if you're hoping to go in with learning Eastern philosophy, that's unlikely to happen. I think at other universities like SOAS, there is a little bit more emphasis on this, but in general, most universities in the UK focus on analytic philosophy. So if you're not interested in that, then I would recommend not studying philosophy at university. The second thing would be if you're only interested in implementation and not theory, then I would also steer clear of taking philosophy. What I mean by that is I think a lot of people are often interested in philosophy because of the potential implications that it has. So for example, you might be interested in studying philosophy because you're religious and you want to learn more about your religion and other religions. But if that's the case, then I would recommend taking a different course like theology. The other day, a friend of a friend asked me what is there to philosophy other than political philosophy. So in the case of that person, if you only care about the political side and how philosophy impacts politics and society, then again, I would recommend taking something like politics or law, because it's still likely that you'll have ethics or philosophy classes in those areas, but philosophy is much more than that. In philosophy at universities in the UK, you tend to tackle things like philosophy of language, philosophy of mind, epistemology, metaphysics, logic, which are all very much more theoretical as opposed to these very specific implementations in specific industries or fields. I would also recommend against studying philosophy if you're not interested in changing your opinions. So if you have a very particular worldview and you're not really interested in having that discussed or changed, then I would not recommend studying philosophy. Finally, I would recommend against taking philosophy if you don't like reading or writing. That's because almost all assessments, so for me, everything except for logic, is going to be essay-based, and you're going to have to do a lot of reading and research for both your classes and for essay writing. So if you're not interested in reading or writing, then I would steer clear of doing philosophy at university. So now moving on to the reasons why I think you should take philosophy. So I think that if you have a wide variety of academic interests, then philosophy is definitely right for you. So within philosophy, you can cover science, history, maths, arts, linguistics, anything that you're interested in, it will probably be covered by philosophy. So for example, this year I took an aesthetics module, which obviously has to do with beauty and art. I've also seen other modules that are to do with the philosophy of arithmetic, so that's obviously very mathematically focused. There's lots of history of philosophy courses, there's lots of philosophy of science courses, so if you have a wide variety of academic interests and you're not interested in just focusing on one specific thing, then I think that philosophy would be a good fit for you. That being said, I think that people who were interested in the humanities, particularly at school, would definitely enjoy philosophy, since even though it does have these specific areas that you can specialize in later in your university career, such as in second and third year, it is in general a very humanities heavy subject because it relies a lot on reading and writing. So if you're interested in the humanities and you have a wide variety of academic interests, then I would definitely recommend studying philosophy. Another way to know if philosophy is a good fit for you is if you're the type of person that enjoys having a lot of discussions and debates. So philosophy is very discussion focused. it's always important to be open-minded to listening to other people's perspectives and be willing to change your own opinions based on new evidence that has been presented to you. If you're the kind of person that loves having debates or arguments with your friends about different philosophical topics, then I definitely think philosophy would be a great fit for you, because most philosophy students do tend to enjoy doing those types of things. I also think philosophy would be a good fit for you if you enjoy combining logical thinking with creative thinking. Logic is obviously very important for philosophy because you need to structure your arguments in a logical way so that they make sense and you're able to make certain claims. But you also need to think creatively in philosophy. You need to be able to be original and bring fresh ideas and fresh perspectives when thinking about a specific topic. So if you enjoy thinking both critically and creatively, then I definitely think philosophy is a great course for you to consider taking. Finally, I think that you would enjoy taking philosophy if you like learning about new perspectives and different ways of thinking about the world. Overall, philosophy talks about how we think about the world, how we think about ourselves, what exists, what doesn't, what makes us human, what makes us different from things like animals or AI, why we communicate the way we do, and things like that. So if you enjoy learning and thinking about all those things, then I would definitely consider taking philosophy. As I said earlier in the video, it can be difficult to figure out if this is a course you want to take if you've never done it at school. So I also compiled a list of resources that I think would be really helpful to check out, just to see if you're interested in the topics that they discuss. So the first would be Crash Course Philosophy on YouTube, which is run by Hank Green and I think John Green as well, and it just has short videos talking about different topics in philosophy. Another resource I would recommend on YouTube would be Wireless Philosophy, which does a very similar thing, but I think is a little bit more specific and academic, whereas Crash Course is a little bit broader. I would also really recommend Harvard's Justice Lectures with Michael Sandel, I think that's how you pronounce his name, which are also on YouTube and basically are a recorded version of Harvard lectures about justice and what we determine as just and basically the ethics surrounding that. So if you would like to see what a university lecture in philosophy would be like, then I would definitely recommend checking that out. Obviously that's in the US, so it's a little bit different from how philosophy lectures are here, but it does give you a pretty good idea of what university teaching would be like. Finally, if there's a topic that you're already interested in philosophy, I would really recommend the book series A Very Short Introduction to, and then just whatever philosopher or philosophy you're interested in. And I would also recommend looking at the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, which is a really great resource for learning more about specific topics in philosophy. I will leave all of those linked in the description below, so if you're interested in any of them, you can check them out. I hope that you found this video helpful and that you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and comment down below anything you want to comment down below. If you would like to see more videos like this from me, please remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you're notified every time I post a new video, which is around 3 times a week. Thank you for watching.